I pressed a button on the phone and checked caller ID. The number was blocked. "Then why did you think it was for me, sweetie?" She shrugged. Dad," a soft voice piped up behind me. I turned. "Yeah, bud?" Tyler had his nose in a paper bag on the kitchen counter. His hair, dark as a glass of stout, was whirled with cowlicks, making him look as if he'd just woken up. He had, but he always looked that way. He was shy, quiet, a serious child, small for his age. He always seemed to be swimming in his clothes. It made him look younger than 10. "Is this my lunch?" "Sure is. Something wrong?" No." He turned his big blue eyes in my direction. As usual, they hid his thoughts, but not the fact that his adolescent brain was churning them out at a rate of hundreds per second. "It's just that—" He paused. "Well, Mom always puts applesauce in there." Right, kiddo. Sorry." I almost left it at that. I had a million things to do, and it wasn't important, at least not to me, not right then. Ordinarily, I would have let my children's small criticisms bounce off unnoticed. With a full schedule, though, the morning already felt rushed, and my own impatience had somehow left me more vulnerable to their small slights. Then again, it could have been because nothing was ordinary anymore. I took a step toward the refrigerator, but the shadow that crossed Tyler's face for a split second stopped me. In that instant, there was something in his eye. Hurt, guilt, that shifted my self-centered focus outward to a slightly bigger picture. There I saw my kids' accusatory looks, heard their unasked question. "Where's Mom?" Mom would have remembered laundry and applesauce. "Tell you what," I said, "I'll give you a ride to school. If we leave a little early, we can swing by the store and get whatever you want, okay?" He shrugged, then nodded, but didn't meet my gaze. I put 2 frozen waffles in the toaster and finished washing and cutting up some strawberries while the waffles heated. The sound of the water running in the sink was strangely soothing. The repetitive motion of rinsing, stemming, and cutting each berry under the rush of cold water from the faucet stilled the anxious thoughts in my head, leaving it blissfully empty for a brief moment. The toaster's metallic twang jarred me back to reality. I plated the waffles and joined Tyler at the table. We gave each other a quick half-smile of acknowledgement and started eating in silence. No doubt there was even more going on in Tyler's head than mine, but none of it needed discussion, even if it was ready for the light of day. So our silence wasn't strained. Sitting there together, in fact, provided its own form of contentment. It's a guy thing. Men aren't programmed for conversation, particularly idle chit-chat. It's not in our genes. We can do it when prompted, but it's sort of like getting a dog to walk on its hind legs. It's mildly amusing, but there's not much point to it. Kelsey bounded back into the kitchen wearing an entirely different outfit. She stopped in front of the table and looked from Tyler's plate to my bowl and back. "Where's my breakfast?" "I didn't know what you wanted. I'll make you something if you'd like." "No time." She reached over Tyler's shoulder, snatched the uneaten waffle off his plate, and skipped away. "Hey!" he whirled, arm outstretched. Kelsey was already out of reach, mouthful of waffle. "Dad! Kelsey took my waffle!" "I saw it, bud. I'll get you another." I pushed back from the table and walked to the freezer. On the way, I threw my daughter a disapproving look, hoping she'd take the hint and apologize to her brother, maybe even offer to get him another. She was already shrugging into her backpack. "Dad, don't forget that I've got practice after school. Then I'm going to Jenny's house to do my homework before we do our community service project. I probably won't be home for dinner. Bye. I gotta go or I'll be late." A mouthful of waffle made the tumble of words barely intelligible. Wait, what? When will I see you then? When will you be home? You need a ride? Do you have your phone?" I shot the questions at her almost as fast as she'd rattled off her schedule for the day, but not fast enough to get a definitive answer before she was out the door. "I'll call you," she said over her shoulder as she dashed out. When had I completely lost